Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and September is Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. And the color for the ribbon for suicide awareness and prevention is teal and purple. So I am going to be taking some Dina Wakley sprays, and instead of spraying them, I'm just going to put a little puddle of them on my glass mat and take a damp paintbrush and put them on my watercolor cardstock. This is just nothing fancy watercolor cardstock that is from a big box store. So I am going to put down some color. I will end up adding some more purple to my mat and bringing it down because I didn't bring it all the way to the bottom far enough after I add the teal in. And when I go to add the extra purple, the brush wasn't quite clean, so it will get onto the purple and make it a little bit darker. So I end up doing that on purpose and going over the entire block of purple so that it is all the same color. So while I'm finishing up putting on the paint, I just wanted to say that I am going to be listing some resources down below for suicide prevention and awareness. For those that are looking and needing help, you can call or text 988 to get in touch with somebody if you are having thoughts of suicide. If you are a family member of someone, this website that I will link down below has some resources to help you with how to help a family member or friend, and just like I said, some different tips and ways to be helpful to someone who might be struggling. So I just want somebody to know that you are not alone and the world is a much better place with you in it. So I did heat set that paint or spray off camera, and I am just going to trim this panel down now that it is dry. And I ended up trimming it down to 3 3/4 by 5 was the end size of my panel. And then I am going to be taking a stamp set from Sassy and Crafty, which is a stamp company that unfortunately is no longer in business. But this sentiment set is, it was perfect. It says, storms don't last forever. And so I'm going to take that and put that in the center of my panel, and I'm going to stamp it down a couple of times using some of the black ink, which is this one here, the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. I do stamp it a couple of times because I wanted it to be as crisp as it could be, and I am stamping on watercolor paper, which is a bit textured, so it does take a little bit more to get, a better image. And then I am going to take another stamp from this stamp set that says You Matter, and I am going to stamp that on the inside of my card base. Just using an A2 size card base, just a white one, and I am going to use the same black ink to stamp this down. You could, I didn't think of it until just now, kind of rainbow stamp the You Matter on the inside with half of it being teal and half of it being purple, but I ended up just going with black. And then once I get my stamp cleaned off and the MISTI out of the way, I am going to put glue on the back of this watercolor panel and then decide it needed to have a mat so that it, one, made the sentiment make sense with that being black, and watercolor cardstock has a bit of a yellowish tint, and so I didn't want it directly against my white card base. So I took a panel of black cardstock and cut that down to 4 by 5 1/4 to give me a little white border, but then something to mat my watercolor panel on. And then once I have that down, I dug in my stash for a sequin mix that would match. This is from another retired company that was called Sparkle Blends. But you can find, there are so many different sequin mixes that you're able to get. I just picked some teal and purple ones. I'm going to end up putting 3 in the right hand corner and 2 in the upper left hand corner, and I will adhere those with some liquid glue, and that will complete my card for today. Again, I will leave some resources down below for anybody that's interested. If you have any questions or comments or projects that you'd like to see, feel free to leave me a comment down below. And as always, I hope that you're having a great day.